As the modern world continues to grow, we find more and more mountain towns facing a strange number of reports as their populations continue to rise. This could be due to the fact that as we build and uncover the mysteries of recently uninhabited mountain regions all across the world, we face encounters previously believed to have been the stuff of myths and legends. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 4 of these mysterious mountain encounters and what they might mean for the future developments of civilization. The Big Grey Man of Ben Macdui. Back in 1891, famed Scottish climber Norman Colley would reveal to reporters and publications that during his climb of the summit of Ben Macdui, the second tallest mountain located in the United Kingdom, he had encountered a strange and supernatural entity that had forever changed his outlook on the natural phenomena of the world around him. During his climb near the summit of the mountain, Norman Colley first claimed, "I began to think I heard something else than merely the noise of my own footsteps. For every few steps I took, I heard a crunch, and then another crunch, as if someone was walking after me, but taking steps 3 or 4 times the length of my own." Colley would also add that though he had made earlier attempts at locating the cause of the sound, the growing mist of the mountain made it nearly impossible for Colley to have seen any object more than 5 feet in any direction. It was not until Norman Colley reached the peak of the mountain, however, that his growing fears would reach their climax. Colley explained that upon reaching the summit, the noises of the hidden creature had suddenly created in him an immense feeling of fear that he had never felt before during any of his other climbing expeditions, causing him to immediately begin running on the loose rocks and nearly injuring himself as he descended the mountain. Although a number of original reports failed to coincide with one another, some claim that Norman Colley had spotted a large figure in the mist, causing him to flee in terror. This figure would later be dubbed as the Am Fear Lieth More, also known as the Big Grey Man of Ben Macdui. Further study into the creature shows that a number of other well-experienced and world-renowned climbers also experienced some strange and supernatural presence on the mountain. In 1904, a climber by the name of Hugh D. Welsh claimed that he had heard slurring footsteps following behind him near the summit of the mountain and suddenly experienced a growing feeling of eeriness and apprehension. In 1945, famed mountaineer and rescue worker Peter Denzham reportedly heard crunching noises around him as he became overcome by a terrible feeling of concern, causing him to flee the expedition. These reports would eventually build up in number until 1958, when naturalist and mountaineer Alexander Tunian would publish an article in the Scots magazine that detailed a terrifying encounter. The article is quoted as saying, "In October 1943, I spent a 10-day leave climbing alone in the Cairngorms. One afternoon, just as I reached the summit of Cairn of Ben Macdui, mist swirled across the Lairig Grew and enveloped the mountain. The atmosphere became dark and oppressive, a fierce, bitter wind whisked among the boulders, and an odd sound echoed through the mist, a loud footstep, it seemed. Then another, and another. A strange shape loomed up, receded, came charging at me. Without hesitation, I whipped out the revolver and fired 3 times at the figure. When it still came on, I turned and headed down the path, reaching Glenderry in a time that I have never bettered." Treasure Mountain, Colorado Monster. Located in the state of Colorado is a summit at 13.5 thousand feet that has earned the name Treasure Mountain. The reason for such a strange name is due to the growing rumors surrounding the region that claim the summit holds both a stored treasure of immense size and a supernatural curse capable of preventing any treasure hunters from ever leaving the summit with the treasure in their hands. According to the local legends, back in the early 1700s, a French expedition consisting of several hundred men went through the Rocky Mountains and began prospecting the region to better understand the resources available in the land. During several months of working in the mountains, the expedition team had generated enough gold to be worth roughly $33 million in the modern day, and hid the gold in 3 different places located near the summit of Treasure Mountain. There have been further conflicting reports that several expedition teams made to recover the gold, either by the French government or treasure hunters, have led to nearly yearly individual perishing to unknown circumstances, sudden injuries, or impossible to explain events. It is due to the lack of evidence that any gold has ever been recovered from the mountain following this original expedition back in the early 1700s that many believe the treasure to still be located in an undisclosed location to this day, though perhaps guarded by something both dark and supernatural. In 1993, the myths surrounding this supernatural curse would reach popularity after a local area family, who claimed to be a direct descendant of one of the surviving French exhibitionists from the original journey back during the 1700s, claimed that they had located the treasure only to find it impossible to retrieve after continuous battles with the elements. According to their story, they had located the cave tunnel entrance to the treasure only for a sudden underground landslide to cause a cave-in roughly 20 feet into the mountainside. As the family began digging out the cave-in, a rattlesnake had jumped from the tunnel and tried to take down several of the family members before being removed. This led to the family quickly bringing in a number of candles in an attempt to illuminate the cave before suddenly a flock of bats flew in and forced them all to the ground. Before the family could stand back up, however, all the candles were suddenly lit before a massive owl flew into the cave and attacked them. The family eventually fled the area and, according to the family, a further landslide in the region caused the cave entrance to have been swallowed up entirely. Brown Mountain Lights. Brown Mountain, located in the state of North Carolina, has seen its fair share of impossible to explain supernatural phenomena. So much so, in fact, that a US Geological Survey was started back in 1922 of the area to try to figure out the cause of a large number of strange sightings of unidentified flying objects and what would later be referred to as ghost lights. According to those living within the Brown Mountain region, locals would claim that at all times of the night, one could see a large number of lights hovering over tree lines and flying in and out of the area at impossible speeds and brightness. This forced the US Geological Survey to try to come up with a rational explanation as to why these lights were being recorded by a vast number of people and led to an expedition to stay within the area for a prolonged period of time to better understand the phenomenon. After several days, despite the expedition team finding substantial amounts of evidence of lights in the region, and despite finding no evidence of methane bubbles or other natural phenomena to explain the sightings, the team would declare the mystery solved, claiming that the lights were nothing more than reflected automobile lights, train lights, fires, and local lights from houses causing the strange sightings. This explanation would be instantly disregarded, however, as a flood would soon tear through the area, wiping out power all around the region, cutting off automobile bridges and railroad tracks and preventing any natural fires from occurring in the region. Despite the lack of power and other natural light-emitting occurrences, the Brown Mountain Lights would continue to be spotted all throughout this time, completely disproving the theory posited by the US Geological Survey only days prior. Grey Flats Ghost. If you have ever been in the region of the Grey Flats forests near the town of Beckley, West Virginia, then you will surely know what people mean when they refer to the place as eerie and haunted. According to the local legends, the most haunted part of the forest is located at an old farm right near the south end of the flats. Although people in the region believe an old mysterious murder to have occurred there, witness accounts of a group of friends encountering a strange creature seem to expand on the creepiness of the region. According to a group of friends that were hiking in the region a few years ago, as they approached the old farm on the south end of the forest, they noticed a strange figure in the distance that appeared to be a man wearing a long trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. As they stood watching, the figure got much closer, revealing to be a strange black shadowy figure with no depth other than its darkened silhouette. One of the friends began to panic and had what appeared to be an asthma attack and quickly got out of the area and carried their friend away from the creature. As they made some distance away, they realized their friend was not having an asthma attack, but appeared to have had an unexplainable allergic reaction to the creature when it approached. Although the event could not be accurately explained, it seemed to share odd similarities with other myths and creatures in the region. The strange shadow creature then gained the moniker of the Grey Flats Ghost. But what do you all think of these 5 different mysterious mountain encounters that researchers have been unable to explain in the modern day? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.